Ah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. What the fuck is up, everybody? How are we doing today? Oh yeah. That's right. Am I a little off the rocker right now? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. I told you guys I was going to come live a little bit earlier. I apologize. But, in preparation for everything that's going on right now, I got a ton of stuff going on. Monday through Friday for sure will be on live on the air at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. Monday through Friday for sure. Weekends we might have to play around with, but I'm going to try to still get to you guys at 4:30 p.m. Today was a little bit different. Obviously, we know yesterday launched the preview of a Patriarch's Vision, Purging Feminism. It's why I am rocking and rolling with this fine crown right now. Why not? Gotta live with the theme, right? Gotta live the dream, rock the theme. Now, I got a whole get up too. I'm not gonna wear it. I'm not gonna wear it all the time. I promise you that. But in order to keep the ball rolling for book 2, A Patriarch's Vision, Purging Feminism, I'm going to rock and roll with Live with the King. And I'm going to try to do this every single day, until the book is launched at least. And then maybe we'll stick with the theme. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But I could already tell you that this thing's not going to stay for the entire time. I'll tell you that much. We got a bunch of people up in the chat. Why don't you guys drop a, hey, how's it going? Tell me how my crown looks. I think it looks fucking, yeah, it fucking looks cool as fuck. That's where we're going with that. And, because I'm doing this, I feel like I'm going to eat some meat too. I'm going to eat some meat while we're here, while you guys are all dropping in and saying, what the hell's up? We got 6 people at least up in the chat. I only got 1 person saying, hey, that's pretty messed up. Oh, yeah. Maybe I'm not going to eat some meat. That takes too much time and energy. Whatever. What's up, Sean Lavoie? How we doing? Good to see you up in here. This is not going to be my normal time that I come on live, just to let you guys know. But today was a crazy day. Went on Dude Party. Dude Party was an awesome show today. Very awesome show. Had a great time going on there. I felt like, I kind of got back into my groove of rocking and rolling and jive into my own mind. I've been a little sick the past week. And then obviously, guys, as you know, the book, man, it just took a lot of energy, took a lot of thought process to push through. So it's good to get back on. It's good to get back on and get back in the groove as well. Good show for you guys today too. I want to talk a little bit more about today. And then I got an article from Slate that I want to go over that I feel like, it's going to help you guys in understanding quite a bit when it comes to the dating world as well. That is what I'm talking about. Guys, we're seeing it. Democracy is dead. Democracy is for sure dead. We can see it with his impeachment. And I talk quite a bit about democracy in a Patriarch's Vision as well. I think it was a cool experiment. I think that we've come to realize now the flaws, and the flaws far outweigh the pros when it comes to democracy. I'm calling it. I do not think that America is going to be standing. I want to say 4 years, but I'm going to push it out a little bit further to 6, because I think something's going to happen. I think Trump's going to remain president for another 6 years, possibly. And then I think America is going to break down into city states. Yeah, there's a big problem with libertarians, though, that I'll point out here in a little bit. Having a libertarian base is good in a way, but at the same time, oh no. Boy, come here. We can't be laying down on that stuff, man. Go in the bed. Good man. On the bed. No, on the bed. Yeah. You're the good doggy. Anyway, there's a few key flaws and factors with libertarianism. I considered myself a libertarian for quite some time. But when it comes to borders and boundaries, the libertarian debate is everything is cool as long as you don't kind of tread on me and come into my deal. The problem comes down to that is when you have that belief system, you're still going to have a border that separates you from people that don't believe that way. And there's a lot of libertarians out there that are like, oh, open borders, bro. Everyone's free. It's like, well, you're right, but there's not a lot of people in the world today that respect freedom. There's a lot of people. Look at Democrats. Look at Democrats today. Honestly, they are begging for slavery. They are begging to be put in a cage somehow, some way, whether it be, mainly logically, right? Their brain. They literally want to be put in a cage. They don't want to think. They want other people to think for them. They are literally 1984. Like that's what Democrats are today. So pretty crazy stuff there. Anyway, I'm going to post up in the chat. Here's the big thing, guys. Obviously, book 2 will be coming out shortly. I'm going to give you guys a free chapter of the book. Click the link below or click the link in the description. I'm going to post that a couple times. Go ahead and click that link and just put your email in there. Even if you've already emailed me, at a God of Men, click this one. It's going to go on a better email list for me personally, so I can have it all organized. And that way there, I'll be able to send out the free chapter. I'm still choosing which chapter I'm going to send out. I'm pretty sure. I'm just doing a quick read through of the book again. And choosing which one to deliver, which one I feel would be kind of the best. So go ahead, click that link, the bit.ly link in the description. And then obviously input your email and you will be getting a free chapter of my book here soon. It's also a way for me to be able to stay in contact with you guys as to when I release this, right? Because here's the thing, is this needs to be a coordinated effort. The only way this is going to make any type of impact is if we all do it together, and make, and obviously show big numbers, when it first comes out. So, thank you very much. It's got bedazzled jewels on it and everything. So it's a king's crown, bro. Fuck. The fleur-de-lis. Hello? Stupid. Anyway, we got a new sub here. Sean Lavoie. Thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated. Today was crazy, guys. I went out. I did quite a bit of stuff in order to, because we're on a 30-day countdown right now is really what it comes down to until I'm intending to publish this book. Got a lot of stuff to do. Got to kind of market quite a bit as well. And I just needed to get my ducks in the row. So I was focusing on that big time. New website should be coming up here shortly too. It's just going to be CoreyCapella.com just to consolidate everything. And there's a lot of stuff going on today. So I went and met up with one of my buddies who is a pretty big time marketer and stuff like that. And, he just helped me kind of fine tune a few things. And it was crazy because I had to drive about 45 minutes away to go meet up with this guy. And if you guys saw me on Dude Party, I was all dolled up, wore the same clothes. But before I left, I threw on this new fragrance that I got from this new house that is just super fucking bomb. Fucking killer fragrance. Go out. I know I'm looking good. I'm looking clean as hell. I got this killer fragrance on. I stop in order to get some tea at this gas station, and this woman like locks eyes with me right when I walk in, and she's like, "Oh my God, are you a bodybuilder?" I'm like, "Yeah." Right. She's like, "Oh my goodness, can I touch your muscles?" I was like, $5, right? Give me some money. She's like, "I'll pay you with hugs." I was like, "Well, you could pay me with something else." Anyway, she was all into it. She's like, "Let me get your number." I was like, Normally I don't do that, but I could tell, like, if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. No big deal to me. Like, I don't give a crap, right? I don't give a darn. So she takes down my number. Normally so that's kind of breaking the rules, just to let you guys know. But at the same time, like I said, I was barely invested. So if I'm invested and I approach someone and the girl's like, no, let me take your number, I push back on that, right? My frame. I want to be the one that that steers the boat. I want her entering into my frame, and I want to be the one that's in control of this stuff. So normally I don't give my number out. But like I said, I was just like, yeah, whatever, who cares? I could tell she was really feeling it. So here you go. Here's my number. Get a text message from her like an hour later, and she's being super flirtatious, and she's like, hey, I want to meet up. And I was like, dang, this woman is like going hard in the paint kind of deal. I was like, huh. So I finish up with what I'm doing. It took us about 3 hours maybe or so. And she's texting me all sorts of dirty stuff already at this point in time. So I was like, yo, I'm driving right by your place right now. I'm going to pick you up. She's like, okay. And, you know, oh yeah. This is like 5:00 in the afternoon too. So I didn't take it all the way, but I took it in the direction that I wanted it to go. If you guys know what I'm talking about. Phonetic for what occurred there was Bravo Juliet, if we're understanding. Little driving and a little bobbing, if you know what I'm talking about, guys, right? So it's crazy because there's this one girl I've been working on for about a week. I shouldn't call her a girl, but whatever. They all got the same mentality. She's a bit older. She's older than me. But she's nice, big fake ones. Nice round behind too as well, right? And I could tell she was into me from the get-go as well. So I laid it down. I think I told you guys this story anyway. And she's hitting me up while this girl is engaging in some extra curricular activity. And I'm like, oh man. She's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like texting while this girl is engaging. And I was like, dang, am I gonna have to convert this one too? Like, let's see what we can do. So I was in a pickle, believe it or not. Because normally I wouldn't want to how can I say? I wouldn't want to reach the climax. Especially that close. But I was like, nah, I'll be good. It's strange, right? Like you can always get it up for strange. I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to try to close on this. So I finished pretty quickly with the old lady, with the one I met at the gas station. And I made my way down and I set up some plans with the new one. And I was like, man, because she's been difficult up to this point too as well. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm even actually, I do know why. I know why I'm what's it called? Even participating. Like it's not, we've gone out. This was the only time we've gone out, right? But I've tried to get her to come over a couple of times and she said no. So I'm the one that's kind of being impatient as well, but I don't know. Went out, things were getting steamy. Things got pretty steamy as well. And I went for the close and I said, let's go back to my place. And she says no. And it's like, man. So I closed the tab right then and there and I got up and I walked away and I said, all right, let's go back to my place. And she said, no. I was like, what kind of no is this? Right. So I could tell in her voice that it was like on the fence kind of no. So I tried one more time and obviously we messed around and we touched some body parts, made things a little bit intimate, but she still continued to say no. So I just walked away. And I don't know where I'm going to leave it. Yeah, I'm not actually, I'll tell you where I'm going to leave it. I know exactly where I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to engage. Seriously. Like, I don't like that kind of stuff. I like submissive women. Women think that playing this like hard to get type of crap is cute. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm not gonna lie. A little push pull is cool, a little bit of flirtation, but if it's gonna eventually end up, with the finish, with the climax going where it needs to go, that's awesome. But I don't want to be with a woman that's gonna dictate the terms of sex in any form of relationship. Plain and simple. That's a boundary of mine for sure. So that's how we're going to do business. She can come to me and she could bend the fucking knee, baby. That's what I'm talking about, right? And that's where I'm at with this whole thing. Like, I don't care anymore, honestly. Like, I've already put in enough effort. I've given up enough time. We've seen each other enough, right? We met each other in person. I actually ended up going to check out because she what's it called? She's the fragrance vendor at a place that I go to. So I ended up going back in order to smell a specific fragrance that I needed to smell. So I saw her again. I put the pressure on her. Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I want her to feel slutty. I want her to be okay with feeling slutty with me, because that's okay. That's who it's okay to be with. Right. But if she can't get out of her own head and she can't let loose and she can't let me, drive the ship, then it's not going to be fun. Right. Like, that's submission. You got to be submissive. If she's not willing to be submissive, then that means there's going to be contention, and I don't compete. I'm not going to compete with you. I'd rather just call it a loss and say goodbye. So it's just something to think about, right? And that's going to lead us into what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. First off, what's up, Justin? How we doing? Again, for anybody who's new in the chat right now, if you are looking to get a free chapter of my new book, A Patriarch's Vision, Purging Feminism, and you want to be on the email list in order to find out when exactly the release date is, yes, 100%, this is my new shtick, 100%. As a matter of fact, there's more to this costume. It's on its way. We had to go live today. We had to rock and roll. We don't mess around. We don't play. We got to keep going. Click the link in the chat, the bit.ly link, if you want to receive a free chapter of my new book. I will push that out next week, however. But the great part is I will have your email. And like I said, we will need to have a coordinated attack for when this is released in order to make some waves with this book. This is the biggest issue with us gentlemen that are kind of pushing back, is we don't have anything that's coordinated, and we don't market together. We got too many groups that are doing too much infighting instead of like, hey, let's push this pendulum the other direction. Let's go. Right? 20 people up in the chat right now. How many likes are we at right now? Because I can't see, but I know you Motros come in and out, and you're hitting that like button every single time you come in, right? So let's make sure we do that. The crown is here to stay. It's here to stay. Anyway, I wanted to go over an article that I read just recently. And the beauty of this article is that it's obviously mainstream. I saw it in the mainstream news feed on Apple. I barely ever go through that, but for some reason I was scrolling through. This is an article from Slate and a panel of, I can't even call them journalists, a panel of people that work at Slate weighed in on a situation when it comes to dating. I'm going to share with you right now what exactly I'm talking about. And I'm sure you guys are somewhat aware of this or have this happen in your own life, where women today tend to cancel on you quite a bit the day of the date. One's in the chat for all you guys that are struggling with flaky ass women or women that choose to cancel on you last minute or the day of with awful excuses as well. One's in the chat for those of you guys dealing with that stuff. Oh, hey now. That was cool. Let's go back to that. Slate posted up this article where a woman obviously tweeted. Did she tweet or fucking Facebooked it? Nope, it's tweet. Yep, she tweeted this. The title of this is "Are You Joking?" ? A woman canceling on her date at the last minute via text is the dress of social interactions by Slate staff. It appears Mia here, who is it appears to be rapidly approaching the wall white woman, Mia Bittner, states after posting or while posting this text message thread between her and her date. She says, "You can truly dodge a bullet with men by inquiring to reschedule a first date day of and seeing how they respond." I'll explain this. I'll read the text message here, and then I'm going to go and just hammer this. She says, she's obviously in blue. "Hey, I'm so sorry." And mind you, this is at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. that night. "Hey, I'm so sorry to even ask about this, but how do you feel about a weekend day instead of right now? We just got approved to launch a product and it's happening very quickly." To which the response was from the man, "Are you joking? ? I'm showered, ready to go, and had planned my day around this. I understand work comes first, but to pull out this late is pretty disrespectful. If you're unable to respect me or my time, then I'm over it. Be well." And then it has a black man peace sign. I had to obviously let you guys know that part. So let me get some opinions up in the chat real quick. How do you guys feel about what Mia here did? Or how do you feel about the response? Because that's mainly what I want to talk about here, because I'm going to break down both. I'm going to break down both things here. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say, because Mia here obviously had the gall, the audacity to think this was funny. And the reality is, I don't think she really thought this was funny. I think she actually was taken back by this. And she was probably actually quite angry that someone decided instead to blow her off while she was the one being the blow offer, right? And I think what Mia here did was this. She captured it and she found a way to make herself look like a strong, empowered woman. And then posted it to Twitter in order to get the peanut gallery, the clucking hen coop, to weigh in on this and fucking you go girl her and yes girl her for support. She says again in her tweet, you can truly dodge a bullet with men by inquiring to reschedule a first date day of and seeing how they respond. So what she's trying to say now is this: because this guy established some sort of boundary with her and let her know how he will not be treated, she's officially dodging a bullet and making him seem as though he's a bad guy and seeing how they respond. Why? Why is this? Why is this, gentlemen? Why do women behave this way? And why go to the peanut gallery and ask them for support, right? Well, the simple fact is this, especially these white women that are in corporate America today who've been so catered to and entitled their entire lives. These women don't believe that anyone should have any type of boundary placed onto them. This is ultimately a shit test. And this guy passed her shit test. And the thing is this, she's pissed. Why is she pissed? Because open hypergamy makes her pissed off. Why? Because open hypergamy and the feminist mantra make it so that she is supposed to be so entitled that when she's just not feeling it, she can just simply place the blame on work. And because she's such a mover and shaker in industry, you know, she's senior VP of sales. She's assistant manager of the marketing department. She's whatever fucking title that is given to her to make her feel so damn empowered. That's her identity, guys. And that's who she's in a relationship with. This guy is just a side piece to that. And she's upset. She's upset that there's a guy out there that actually thinks he is more valuable than her and her work, right? She's upset that there's actually a man out there that's willing to say, listen, if you make plans with me, you stick to those plans. Or if things change, at least be respectful about this and give me prior notice. But, and this is where the disrespect comes in. I don't know if you guys heard the little piece that I emphasized there. She said, but how do you feel about a weekend day instead of right now? You want to know how I feel about a weekend date, Mia? I don't think so. How's that sound? I'm not going to fold into your little shit test and take you out to get a fucking panini somewhere, right? Or a smoothie. You know where this date's going to go? This date is going to go to wherever I say it's going to go at whatever time I say it's going to be at. And we're going to sit there and we're going to schmooze for about 30 to 40 minutes before I make some moves and push you back to my place. And if you don't come back to my place, adios. Have fun riding the carousel. Have fun with your cats later on in life. Have fun sitting there and talking to your other corporate boss babes about how you're such a boss babe yourself and how you envision your life living or continuing with your beta husband, if you can even get that, right? Let me see the chat here real quick. Beautiful. Great comments so far, guys. Plenty don't respond the day of. It's all been well organized. When it's been all organized, yeah, exactly. They're scared because you're putting them in your frame. I started setting up dates so if they don't show, I can still have a good time. Set up things you want to do. Absolutely. Also set up so if she doesn't show up, you can go and do some cold approaches. I've had a few guys just recently talk about doing stuff like that. I've done it before. I think the man is taking these online hoes too seriously. Otherwise, why would you be so angered over a flake? This is something that we're going to talk about. Absolutely. I can understand your perspective. But I also applaud this guy for putting down some boundaries. The problem here is the semantics, and that's the next thing that we're going to have to talk about. I feel so entitled that this dude should have capitulated to the rescheduling and pissed he didn't cave. Exactly, Adam C. You're 100% right here. That's what she was trying to do. Is she, with this little test or whatever she was doing, she either didn't think he was high value enough, or she was that insidious that she was no kidding putting him through the ringer. And she failed. He passed. So that's what it comes down to. She wanted a little boy that was going to, exactly like you said, capitulate and start to work into her frame. That way there, she can, whenever, say, oh, I had a late night at work. And then she can go out with the girls, do some cocaine, and hit that, what's it called, after work, right? What do you guys call that? Happy hour, right? So that maybe she can bump into Kevin from sales, or she can bump into, Trey the Coke dealer, go outside and do some lines off of his Monty Python. I'm not a seasoned player like some of you guys here, and I'm also new to the Red Pill community. But knowing what I know thus far, I like that guy's response. Mike, good stuff. I like that you recognize it. It can be cleaned up, though. And that's one thing that we're going to talk about here. Absolutely, 100%. None of my dates are more than 3.5 miles away from my place. 15 minutes roughly is what I like to say, right? Makes logistics far easier. Lunch date puts you in the friend zone. And non-sexual entity, or not a non-sexual entity like a brother or a lamp. Exactly. Do not set yourself up to be that guy. She was teeing him up for that. He said, no, thank you. Boss babes love it when you tell them to invest in cats. Just an FYI. Yeah, that's a, what's it called? That is slowly dying anyway. That's not a very good burn. But the fact of the matter is, it's true. It's true. They're going to get a whole bunch of cats. And then they're going to go crazy because cat piss makes you fucking crazy. It depends on whether his response was issued to A, establish a personal boundary, or B, to spill his emotions into the woman. Hard to tell which is the case. I lean more towards the boundaries, but this is what we're going to talk about next. And a hilarious response. Boys, please don't get lamp zoned in 2020. 2020 is not the year of lamp zoned. That is not happening. Now, going back to what our fine gentleman decided to say, are you joking? ? I'm showered, ready to go, and had planned my day around this. I understand work comes first, but to pull out this late is pretty disrespectful. If you're unable to respect me or my time, then I'm over it. The are you joking part, not terrible. A little bit reactive, right? Here's the thing: is women get dry panties over a man who gets reactive. That's boy energy, right? So you got to be a little bit more firm if you're trying to be firm, but not too emotional. I'm showered, ready to go, and had planned my day around this. That's like, in a way, like passive aggressive guilt. If you're going to try to guilt her, just fucking guilt her, right? She doesn't care about you. Obviously she doesn't care about you. So she's not going to care that you showered and you're ready to go and had planned your day around this, right? That's something that you hold on to internally, right? That's why you're angry. And it's okay to be angry, but you just can't relay that over to her. Instead, you need to sit there, you need to take control of your emotions, and you need to think logically and rationally, and you got to understand, how do I establish my boundaries as best as possible? And what's my end state? What are my goals? What am I trying to do, right? Because there are some girls that I'm talking to that will try to pull stuff like this, and I'm like, I could tell they're on the fence. Maybe they're doing this because they're getting some last-minute resistance because they know they're going to sleep with me, right? And they're just trying to not feel slutty. So all I got to do is add a little bit of pressure and just put on the right wording, right? In order for them to come back with a response of like, okay, I'll see you there. And normally what I'll do is this. I'll say, come on, Mia, we're both adults and we made plans. Let's stick with our plans. Boom, right? And then I'll wait for her to respond. Now, the ball's in her court. It's not an ultimatum. It comes from a place of power, and it establishes a boundary of We made plans. When you're with me, you stick to your plans. Okay? Now, what's my conversion rate on something along those lines? It's about 50%. That's why I'm really I don't want to say picky, but I'm picky about using it because it's not, I mean, it's Russian roulette at that point in time, even though the odds for Russian roulette are probably less than that. So that's how he could have fixed it. But I really like how he said, I understand where it comes first. You can be understanding, guys. It's okay to say something along those lines. If you're fabricating your words in a means to reach an end state, like I talked about, it depends on your end state. What are you trying to do? For this guy, I mean, the strongest frame here would have been this of just not or just not responding. But obviously, he felt a little bit slighted here. And he obviously got a pretty gnarly reaction because he's obviously living rent-free in her head right now with the fact that she went to Twitter. And posted this stuff. And obviously, there's a Slate article written about it now. Anyway. Hey now. Hey guys, I'm a little older, 50. I've been running game hard since divorce at 41. Based on the current flake climate, I always have a plan B. I expect every girl to flake. Yeah, that is just that is literally the theme of life today. You're going to get flaked on quite a bit. I live in San Diego, California, which is like the fucking epicenter of flaky people. It's crazy. People here are just, it could start to rain out. It could start to rain just slightly. And it's like, I don't feel like going out. It's like, come on. Like, it's just a little, no, I'm not in the mood. Right. Just, that's how easy people are here. Like it could be a little bit cloudy out and they're like, I'm depressed. I'm going to go home and put some fucking sweatpants on. It's like, all right, cool. Fucking weirdos. Anyway, pretty amazing stuff from what I see with this. I don't even want to get into what the Slate editors had to say. It's obviously just drivel. It's silliness. One of the editors is a dude named Daniel. And he's probably the biggest white knight I've ever seen. I actually thought it was a woman for a little while named Danielle. Then I looked him up, and I remember this guy actually responding to my tweet on Twitter about even having any type of things that I'm attracted to in a woman, having any type of standards. Dude's a complete... I don't even want to disgrace betas out there with saying that this guy's a beta. He's worse than that. Anyway, I'm going to post up the Zoom link right now for those of you guys that want to call in and talk about this article. I'd love to hear your perspective, what you would have done in that situation, and how you feel that our man could have fixed his text. So the link is now in the chat for you to call in via Zoom. Let me go ahead and click that link myself and open that puppy up. It doesn't even have to be about the, what's it called? You guys can call in for any topic or any type of thing to ask me about. However, I just figured that would be a pretty cool topic to discuss. Oh, yeah. With that said, for those of you guys that are in the chat right now, of course, we do know that book 2 is coming out. Yes, sir. A Patriarch's Vision. Purging Feminism will be out within the next 30 days or so, or beyond 30 days. We'll see. If you guys are interested in getting a free chapter sent to you next week, as I figure out which chapter. No, silly. Oopsies. I don't like you. Then please do click the link that I just put in the chat. And I will get you guys a free chapter. What the hell am I pushing? Oh, that's why. Boom. Moss. Kept pushing freaking Control F. Silliness. This crown, man, it's making me go crazy. I got kicked off of Twitter. For having standards for the type of women that I'd like to date. And then also pointing out how women are looking for all these good guys and asking where all the good men have gone. And I just put out an idea as to what good men might be looking for when dating a woman. So there's that. Great time frame for me to also talk to you guys about. I hate this computer right now. You. Right, Chance? Oh, just so ghetto. It's mainly been what's it called? It's mainly been the internet, though. Do. All right, we're gonna leave that alone. It's gonna drive me crazy. Close out some Slate. Do I have anybody in the chat at the moment? Oh yeah, I do. What's up? I think you're muted right now, to be honest with you. Oh wait, no. It's because I don't have it plugged in. That's why. That's why I didn't hear it. All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. Let me turn up this volume here. Okay. All right. How can I help you, bud? What's up?
Hey, I just thought I would call in. I've been watching the Dude Party. I think that group has really come along, and I think that can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep. Keep going. You're doing awesome.
So yeah, Dude Party's been great. Some of your comments have been really good. I know you're just getting started with this, but I think the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Sky's the limit. How?
Oh well, I think so. Let me give you a little bit of my background.
Sure.
So I'm 50. So my comment there earlier. I'm in Oklahoma City, which is kind of a backwater. Was in Chicago for about 15 years. Came back here because of family reasons. Totally blue pilled. 2 marriages, 2 divorces. Navigated those. Have some experience there. And just came out of these doing a lot of seeking because I was in my 40s and making some money and threw some money at the problem and until I just kind of stumbled into playing the bad boy card. I was just working out a lot. Got to where you could see some abs and driving a beat up convertible and just running the basic game that I knew like back from my high school days, and it was working. So stumbled onto the Roosh stuff, was active in the Roosh V forum for a number of years, and then you kind of know what happened there. Roosh kind of ran off the rails. Man, I love the guy. I mean, I think he's done some real interesting work, but I think it was I don't know if it was the Dude Party to Rule Zero the other day. They really hit on some, I think it really peeled apart the onion on some of the challenges Roosh has had personally. But so I'm kind of entering a new phase now where I came out of the marriages, did a bunch of seeking, kind of tried to work my way out of that. It's been a crutch, but ran some game, and now I have just kind of settled down a little bit to where I'm doing a lot of career stuff and trying to figure out how to balance, a career that's going pretty well with, getting back to the game world.
Mm-hmm.
So. Don't know that I really have a lot of questions, but just wanted to call in and participate a bit.
Ask away. What questions do you have? Like, it seems like you got something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. One of the things that's happened, I think, for me personally, the seeking thing has been a huge crutch, and I didn't even realize why. So on the weekends when it's good weather, I have a motorcycle riding buddy. We both have sport bikes. We go out for a ride in the country. We go to the college towns and ride around. And twice recently, I'll just be somewhere. I've got a fancy sport bike, leather jacket, and I'll go to a cafe or some other place, and I'll have a chick just immediately respond to me, and we'll chat it up, and then I'm just not in the zone because I haven't been used to closing in person like that because I've been running online game, Tinder, or Seeking stuff.
For sure.
And it's made me realize what a crutch online game is. It's all, you really have to almost go cold turkey on that to keep your in-person day game, night game going, I think.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay.
So this is something that I teach in my online dating mastery course. I teach you how to be seductive via text. Okay. And the cool part is, because what a lot of people do is this: when they're chatting online, they talk way too much and they give up way too much information, and they kind of have like a pen pal / friendship relationship with girls. Yeah. And online dating, believe it or not, is if you could practice what I teach of keeping things short, fun, and mysterious, and you could apply that over to in-person approaches and how you converse with women, that's the perfect location for you to ingrain that behavior. It's just what you've been doing on online dating is you've been kind of getting lucky, right? And then when you do it in person, it's like, oh man, I'm kind of a dork, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, in some ways, I'm pretty. I've been in sales before.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty slick as a person.
Sure.
I have pretty good game. The problem is I get out of the zone, and like I even have these. Okay, for example, this is something I've done for the past 4 or 5 years. For the past 4 or 5 years, I work my ass off in the States, and then I go down to Mexico City, maybe Playa, for a month or two.
That's dope.
And when I'm down there, in my mind, I'm running what I call James Bond game, the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah.
I'm 50 years old, dressing well, rolling.
Yeah.
And it's like shooting fish in a barrel. My Spanish is intermediate.
Yeah.
I can open in Spanish.
Nice.
It's getting to the point where I can close in Spanish. But when I come back here, it's like I'm in work mode, and I've got my daughter that I'm taking care of, and then the opportunities. I'm also in a shitty town, which is part of it. There aren't that many opportunities when I do find one, I'm not in the zone, and I will like leave a place after realizing, well, shit, I should have closed on that opportunity.
Excuse me. So we got to figure out how to get you in the zone in those locations, right? Because you can't just hop up and go to Playa and have that be like, things are different there, obviously for sure, but you got to learn how to be alpha in your territory right now.
Exactly. What I realized is I can't travel, especially this year. I have more work, more responsibilities, and I can't travel that much.
Sure.
So what am I going to do? Wait to live until I can get out of town for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, exactly. And that's a no-go, right? You can't.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be like, game has to be continuous.
Yes, exactly.
Game needs to be a lifestyle. It's not a, okay, I'm here now and everything's perfect kind of thing, right? It's got to be like, even when, like, let's say, God forbid, you're kind of dumb enough to, let's say this. All right, you just finished up at the gym and you're sweaty and your clothes are kind of, obviously you're not wearing rock and roll all-star stuff. You might be a little insecure because you might be a little bit stinky, but you're at Sprouts buying some fucking eggs and some milk or something. And
That's
then
a perfect example. Do you know how many times I've bombed at Sprouts specifically?
Why? Oh, it's so easy. It's so easy.
Well, this has happened to me. So I'm in Oklahoma City. And I was doing some work up in Tulsa for a while. There's a Sprouts up there that I would go by during the day I was doing some real estate work.
Nice.
And that's exactly what would happen. So I had a buddy of mine who's a real estate investor. He had some commercial properties in downtown Tulsa. We were working on them. And yeah, I actually got pretty ripped just because I was more active and my body fat went down. And I have a pretty good musculature to begin with. So I was looking really good. And it was the same kind of thing. So I'd go to Sprouts, I'm going to grab a pack of sushi or something like that, go in there, go in by the kombucha, see some girl with the kombucha. I'm like, oh, is that a good kind of kombucha? Or just, talk up a girl and get some really good responses and then just not close. Just, kind of just space.
You wouldn't go for the clothes.
Yeah. Or, I was looking pretty ripped walking through the parking lot and I just see a girl just, eye fuck me and not go for the clothes.
You just need some tools in your toolbox. I mean, you're more than halfway there. I mean, you're in the sales world. You know what they say about people who don't fucking pull the trigger, right? It's like,
exactly.
You're never going to get it.
I've been in the closing mode before. I seem to get out of it all the time.
It definitely is. The only time that I tell people like that they're allowed to not close is when like they're focusing on something big that has to do with like finances or a project, right? And it's even like, but then I even say this, it's like 3 weeks. You want to be in that zone for 3 weeks because after 3 weeks of not gaming, like you're going to get rusty, like, and then you're going to start making the excuses over and over and over again. So it's like, it's one of those things. And then you need to go on like a rampage, so to speak. Exactly. You need to you have to pull the trigger. Like this is some of the stuff I tell myself. It's like, it's when you see a woman that gives you an IOI like that, where she's like looking you up and down and you look dead sexy. It is your masculine duty to go up to her and be like, hey, what was that? Right? Yeah, what was that about?
And it was something that I didn't have, before I went through my second divorce, and I developed it and I've applied it, and then I just get out of that mode. I even have this memory the first time I got a good IOI. I was in this neighborhood called the Condesa in Mexico City, and there's this chick. I saw her look at me from across the street. And I turned and I walked towards her and I just opened and I ended up getting her number. I was actually leaving in 2 days and already had a girl I was seeing. So I didn't close on her, but it was one of the best feelings ever.
It feels so good, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's where you feel your most masculine, honestly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And so why not relive that?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's almost like when there's a bit of it like when we're in our own territory, when we're in our own neck of the woods, there's some social, like we kind of like, oh, well, I might come to this Sprouts a couple more times and I don't want like the clerks to see me hitting on all the women. And you know what I mean? Like there's some like social defenses that end up going on. But like, even for me today, I took this woman out to the same place that I took this other girl out 2 nights ago. And I could tell when I walked in there that like the girls at the front, at the, what are they called? Like concierge or whatever.
Right.
They're like, oh, this fucking dude again. And he's with a hotter woman this time. Right.
But that's what you want. You want that fucking everywhere. Right.
Yeah, dude. Like, fuck it. Who, like, unapologetically masculine. If a girl gives me an IOI, I don't care where the fuck we're at. I'm going up to her. Like, game is continuous. I'm going up to her and I'm pulling the trigger. Now, the thing is, you got to have some good openers. The kombucha thing's pretty good, but I'll tell you one of my favorite openers, especially for at the gym or at Sprouts. I walk up to a girl if I get an IOI, right? Because in those locations, you kind of want to, or you fabricate it somehow, some way. Yeah. And I'll just say, you are super fit. What are your goals?
Nice.
And she's going to be like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, are you looking to compete, or are you just trying to look good naked? And I'll smile, right?
Right, because then you're subtly sexualizing it.
Exactly. Because I'm also going to go into it too, where she's going to be like, oh, no, that competition thing. No, that's too much. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Same here. I'm just trying to look good naked. I like eating food too much. I'm not that disciplined. I'm disciplined, but not that disciplined.
I've done it a couple times. I mean, I'm 50 fucking years old, but you know how the women are. If they want something, they fucking want it. And I've pulled 19-year-olds. It's blown my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Have the IOI and just do it.
You're capable of doing it. I'm proud of you. The fact that you're 50 and you have the balls to be able to bang a 19-year-old. Like, I mean, there's no age restriction if they're legal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's your duty. It's your duty.
And the girls in their 20s in the cock carousel, it's one of their. It's like they're playing a game of. It's like a fucking treasure hunt for them, like they're trying to check, all these things off their list, and one of those is fucking an older, most interesting man in the world kind of guy.
Exactly.
And some of them are just into it, but
so I think that's your ability to get in the state, man. So when you're in the When you're in the parking lot of Sprouts and you're about to walk in and you know you're walking into a target-rich environment, like, this is going to sound really fucking silly. But channel that mindset. Yeah. Like, look what I'm doing right now. I'm a fucking Joker right now wearing a fucking king's crown on his head live on the fucking air. You know what I'm saying? Why is that though?
Right. So,
it's because I embody the fucking king energy. I embody the king archetype, right? In my mind, I am worthy of this. So therefore I'm going to project it outward. Do the same thing. I'm the most, like, before you walk in there, I'm the most interesting man in the world. And when the most interesting man in the world gets an IOI, guess what he does?
He fucking closes on it.
Exactly. So get yourself in that mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Don't allow yourself to emotionally be swayed and be like, no, I'm not in the mood right now. You know?
Right. That's what happened. That's that excuse. That's that fucking, devil on your shoulder or whatever. I don't know if it's the opposite of the devil in this case, but it's the one that says, oh, you're not ready, or
let's call it the beta or the boy. I call it the boy as well. Like I talk about men not being initiated into manhood. That's the little boy trying to protect ego and trying to remain comfortable. And it's like, oh, it's not the perfect setup. I'm not wearing the right cologne, or I'm not wearing the right shoes, or whatever. Like, I can get away with it, It's like, no, motherfucker. Like, if the opportunity presents itself, because this is what most men do wrong in life, with all aspects of life, is when they're presented with an opportunity, what do? They hesitate. And hesitation is the fucking death of all fucking initiation, right? Of all movement.
And the women see it. Right, the most alpha thing you can do is walk into your room, look around, pick one, and walk straight up to her.
And like what you're saying, man, those girls now that at this place, they all deep down want to fuck me, right? They all deep down respect the shit out of me because
I blew the biggest fucking IOI this morning. So I had an hour to kill. So we were doing this ride out in the country where there's this road that no one rides on, so we can ride really fast on the sport bikes.
Yeah.
So I've got an hour to kill before I meet my buddy at this one part of Oklahoma City. There's a little downtown kind of area, and there's a couple of coffee shops. So I go to one of the coffee shops. Actually, okay, so I'm walking to the coffee shop. There's a food market, and I know the guy that owns the food market, and I just want to see if he's in there. He was an old neighbor of mine. So I go by the food market and just walk in, and there's this chick, kind of a granola chick, working there. And I go up to her and said, "Hey, is Matt in?" And she's like, "Oh, Matt's not here. You want me to tell him something?" I'm like, No, I'm just an old neighbor of his." And she's like, "Oh, you want me to take your name?" And she's giving me huge positive feedback, just everything. And I said, "Oh yeah, I used to know him. We lived over next to this coffee shop in this part of town." She's like, "Oh, I love that coffee shop." She's just pouring it on. I even have fucking cards with my name and phone number printed on it for this purpose. And I was just not in the zone, and I'm like, "Okay, thanks," and just turned around and walked out.
Yeah.
It was the biggest, the most positive response I've had in weeks.
Yeah. Well, the cool part about those types of situations, man, is this. Like, the fact that you're calling in right now because you recognized it, you felt it internally. You're like, man, I'm not on my shit. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not doing what I got to do. I got to fix this. Like, it's almost like a form of like guilt. There's this guilt where it's like, I didn't maximize my fucking potential. Fuck.
Exactly. And I told my buddy about it as soon as I got to his house. I said, "You wouldn't believe what the fuck, I just fucking face planted on the best IOI I've had in weeks."
Yeah.
We laughed about it, but and my buddy's actually he's kind of a natural, and I've given him some game books. I gave him Game by Roosh and some other stuff. He kind of reads it, and he's taller, so he's got that tall genetic signal height, and then he has a really good natural opening game. He'll open anyone and any girl at a bar, and he's not that good looking, but he's just really good at opening. And I'm probably much more well-rounded in other areas, but I don't open like he does.
I used to always be good at opening in the past, but then my mid game was terrible. And then because my mid game was terrible, I would fail on the close, right? And this is one thing that I like to tell guys now is this, because I have friends when we go out and we run sets or whatever, they'll sit there and they'll try to talk to the girl for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes and just keep a conversation going. I don't know about you guys. I don't have that much to talk about. honestly, like with a girl. I could sit here. Obviously, I've been on the air for an hour straight. I can talk to you guys about all sorts of stuff for hours on end. But when I'm talking to a girl, it's like we all know where this is trying to go, right? So let's get there as fast as possible while not being the guy that's like, hey, unless you got a fucking $1,000 hanging out of your zipper or whatever, or you're fucking Dan Bilzerian and you got social status like no one's business, like you can't really mode one too many women.
Yeah. And it's not sales. You're not there to try to build rapport like you would with a man when you're doing sales.
Right. It's seduction. There's a difference between the two.
Tension. Exactly.
Correct.
With sales, you're building rapport. With seduction, you're building tension.
Correct.
And I know all this shit, and what's interesting is that when I first became single again in my early 40s, I would do that. I would go in and start talking to a girl, and I would because I was good at sales, and so I would ask her, "Oh, you're from this neighborhood? Oh, I know so and so from that neighborhood. You know them? Oh, you do? Okay." And we just get into these long conversations, and what I realized is that I was creating emotional comfort, which took the conversation out of the sexual tension.
Correct. She started to look at you more of a friend.
Exactly.
Oh, he's nice. I can trust him. It's like she wants you to ride that border line where it's like,
yes,
I don't know if I can trust this guy, but God, I want to see if I can, right? That's seduction, motherfuckers, right? Now, the thing is this is the other thing that I want you guys to focus on. So this is going to get you in the zone a little bit faster as well. You're walking into Sprouts. What do I got to do? So I got a comment here from Max as well. Max says, recently I've noticed and missed many opportunities with women in public because I fail to think of anything to say, even if I feel confident in the moment. Speak with your eyes. And how do you speak with your eyes? Make eye contact.
Yeah.
When you're walking past these people. And that's how you're going to force IOI. Right. And then that's how you're going to be able to pounce. And then from there, speak a quick line that's going to be some bait for them to be able to talk, right? Yes. And then sit there in sit there in silence for a little bit, as though you're the one that's doing the choosing. Everything you do, you should be showing her that you're processing it in order to select is the word. I'm trying to find the term that we mostly use in the space, but you're absolutely right. That's really what it comes down to.
What you want to show higher value so that the selection you're in charge of the selection process as opposed to being in a group of males that
right. Well, it's your frame too. She fits into your frame. That's how you train them to come into your frame, and that's really what women want. That's really what they want. Man, that's awesome. Thanks for calling in, dude. Seriously.
I've got one more short story.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
rip it.
These young girls have just been a trip because I dated in the 80s and the 90s, and in some of the 2000s, now the 2010s. It's just been crazy. I got this girl over to the house a few weeks ago, and I think I just pulled her like offline. I just said, hey, because I'm obviously over the whole date thing. I don't take girls on dates. I haven't done that for years.
Yeah, good for you.
And so I just invited them to the house. I'm like, hey, come over. And she's like, well, what do you want to do? I'll just say, I don't know, hang out. They know it's right.
Exactly.
We all talk about it. They all know what's going on. So they come over, and this girl came over, and I'm like, I just told her, I'm like, why don't you take your clothes off? and she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I guess I need someone to tell me what to do. She's just like, she's a bit, I guess she's been dating, a lot of guys her age, really bad at beta.
Yeah.
Just sit around and wait forever.
Right.
And she just takes her clothes off. She takes her clothes off down to her bra and panties. And I said, no, everything. And then she starts taking the rest off. It's hilarious.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's powerful. I mean, that's fun too. And here's the thing. There might be some people that listen to this later on, and they'll be like, oh my God, that's whatever. It's like, no, she enjoyed it too.
She wanted that.
Exactly. She wanted to be led.
Yes. And she hasn't been. She was obviously waiting to be led, and she hardly even knew it. But once she was led, it's kind of like I heard you talk about a story. It's like, I don't know if it was on Rules, or I think it was on Dude Party, and you were talking about it was the coconut oil thing. And that made me think about some of the stuff. I'm like, okay, that would destroy my room because I don't have a comforter that can handle coconut oil.
I don't either. I just have a comforter that I've just put enough coconut oil on where I'm like, fuck it, who cares?
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It's not my main comforter.
There you go. That's how it works. So I thought about that and I was like, that's great. The next step would be like give them some coconut oil and have them cover themselves with coconut oil.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Good deal.
It's even to the point now where I have like some of my regulars that come over and they're like, go get like, they'll pull out my guy and they'll be like, go get the coconut oil.
Oh my God. Yes.
Right.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. Like they love that. They love that aspect of when they're with me.
They're like kids waiting for permission to have fun.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I don't know if you were listening when I was talking about the date that I just went on.
I'm not sure if I caught that one or not.
Yeah. So I met up with this one chick earlier today who was just totally down. She was like so down. It was like beyond, which was awesome. I love that stuff. I love girls that are like, this girl came up to me. She's like, you are so sexy. She's like, oh my God, you smell so good too. She's like, can I have your number? And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Here you go. Like, she's that down. And then she starts texting me right away. And she's like, I want to see you right now. It's like, dang, this chick is so down. That's awesome. Right.
Yeah.
And then I go out on this other date with this woman that I've been working on for about a week now. And she looks good, but she's just too, she's like bordering on the line of like, there's some good push pull there, but it's also to the point where it's like, I don't know if she's going to be willing. I don't know if she's going to be willing to like bend the knee, like I like to say. It's like, is she going to be willing to be submissive and engage in the level? Because I'm playful. I'm a master when it comes to this stuff. I create the scene, I create the environment, right? I create the tension, and it's so fun. And it's like when you have a girl that will kind of tap back into reality and try to like bring all the silliness of the real world into the bedroom. It's like, I don't like that. That's not fun. That's not like, this should be carefree in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Some of the things you guys have talked about the old social contract versus what we're dealing with right now. And that's the old social contract was sex was like some type of religious event.
Right.
And now it's like sex is just us all having fun, especially the girls that are on the carousel.
Right. Absolutely. I think we need to find a middle ground though. That's what I talk about in the second book here. I separate it from the religious connotation too, big time. I am anti someone being married to someone and only having sex with one person the rest of their life. That is like, that should not happen in any lifetime. Right. What a fucking just like, could you imagine only sleeping with one person for the rest of your life?
I mean, and at this point it doesn't matter because that world's over.
Right. Exactly. But what I do talk about though, is this in book number 2. So, actually a patriarch's vision. We understand though, that women who have sex with multiple partners, they lose their pair bonding mechanism. And I would even say I even go so far in this book to talk about how I believe these women lose their pair bonding mechanism to their children in having so many sexual partners.
Wow. That's a whole other level.
Well, think about it. Think about a lot of these women that are feminists that have a lot of cocks running through them. And what do they put really as their number one in any of their relationships? In their world, what is number one?
It's their children.
No, I disagree. Because
maybe it used to be their children.
It used to be, I'd say, but I would say 100%. And this is, I don't know if you just listened to me talk about this woman on the Slate article. Their number one priority now in life is their job and being seen as strong and independent.
Yes.
So much so that they're willing to, when they have kids, to abandon their kids, put their kids in a daycare, not care about nurturing their children, have their kids raised by strangers. And it's seen right now that these kids, you know where ADHD is mainly coming from? It's actually shown to be a disorder from abandonment. Addiction is being shown to be tied to abandonment. And it's abandonment at an early age when a kid is supposed to be shown nurture and raise. Because here's the thing. Think about this as an organism. If you're birthed into this world and the two things that created you that are supposed to be there to like take care of you and make sure you feel safe and protected are both away. What does that signal in a child's brain?
I absolutely see that, and so that's what a friend of mine would have called it, who had some psychology background, an insecure pair or insecure. Oh, I don't remember what they
It
call
sounds
it.
about right. An insecure pair bond. Yeah, that's
insecure bond, but
yeah,
it's a parental bond.
correct.
And you see that in children. You see the insecurities of these kids that are passed off to daycare and whatnot.
Right.
They don't want their parents to leave, and they become mildly sociopathic, and that they don't have the same attachments.
Correct. They don't. That's why I talk about this in a Patriarch's vision. At least for the first 7 years of a child's life, the mother needs to be around.
Yeah,
the mother needs to be around.
Absolutely. And I see that my mom was around, and it does create, I see the kids where their parents weren't around, and they don't have that secureness in their, demeanor. They don't feel secure in their skin.
Yeah. So going far with this too, if a woman messes up, because what is pair bonding? It's just like love. What is love? Well, love is just simply a chemical signal, right? That goes on that's supposed to be meant to like tie two people together so that they can obviously have kids and stay together for a duration of time in order to raise the kids to adulthood, right?
Exactly, the 7-year itch, the
for sure. Exactly.
It's
but we all know that every new relationship that fizzles, that dopamine goes away, that oxytocin has it's not staying there as long, and it goes away faster in men, right? Which kind of shows that men are more prone to wanting to sleep around. Now, imagine a woman that destroys that type of chemical or that neurochemical pathway in her brain, and now she's not able to have that happen with her own children. It's like those types of women are more prone to just being able to go to work and work more hours. And, hey, so be it. When I come home, do you think she's going to want to be a mom, or do you think she's going to want to sit on the couch and drink fucking red wine and put on her Uggs and watch Gilmore Girls? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
exactly.
like,
and men are more wired to be able to go out into the world because we're supposed to be able to go hunt and
right.
be away from a while and not be sitting around caring for the kids.
Exactly. Now, I talk about this in the book as well. I do, because I believe that one of the most dangerous things that we've had happen is the notion that women are the sole caretakers of children and they're the better parents. It's like, no. From ages 0 to 7 is when women are the better parents.
Yes.
From absolutely. 7 and up is when the father is the better parent. Why is that? And it's because
that is an exact topic that two of my friends and I have discussed as to how, in law, they call that the tender years doctrine, the idea that women are better and necessary for infants. But, after 7 or 8 years, there's something about the emotional state of women that just isn't as good for caring for kids.
Well, because what it comes down to is this: by age 7 is when 90 to 95% of a child's personality is developed.
Right.
So during those 7 years, you need to have the child be pretty much solipsistic, right? Yes. And women are the perfect purveyors of enabling solipsism. Plain and simple. That's kind of what they're here for. That child should believe that they're the center of the universe up to that point in time. And women will, no kidding, nurture and hover parent up to that point, which is great. So that's needed because that child needs to develop that personality. They need to feel safe in that time frame developing their personality. But once they reach an age of 7 is when the transition needs to happen, where father comes in and starts to teach them about rationality and reality, the rules of nature. Nurture is nice, but nature's the real thing. Nature is reality, right? So people and children need to learn first how to like the rules of nature through the father, right? And then what also needs to happen is people need to understand how to live in a civilization, in a society. So that's the rule up to this point, is now teaching them how to be an individual, but then also how to operate within and amongst a collective of people where there are rules, standards, traditions, and laws, right?
Right. And social mechanisms like shaming that actually
correct
are a good mechanism for the control of pathological
behaviors. Exactly. But the problem that we have up to this point is we've allowed mom to be the dictator, the authority within the household. People have been nurtured all the way up to 18, now to the point where moms aren't even letting boys move out of the house until 25 to 27.
Yes. So what my friends and I that are all in our late 40s and early 50s are seeing is that the moms, once the kids are teenagers, they just can't handle them. And I've seen people flip the custody arrangements. You know, instead of the dad was only getting, you know, every other weekend, all of a sudden the mom's only getting every other weekend.
Right.
Personally, I have my kids 80% of the time now because the mom can't handle them.
For sure. Yeah, the mother can't handle the individualization process because a mom's mindset is this. It's these children are supposed to love me because they came out of me. That's why these single moms, a lot of these women, what they do is they have women with an alpha that they know that they can get rid of quickly because now they can have something. And that's why these women have these strong attachments to their son and turn their sons into surrogate boyfriends, because I'm going to manipulate him so that he's never able to leave me. And he's always going to be there for me. He's supposed to always love me.
And their SMV has gone down, so they kind of need a replacement.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's when people talk about feminists or sorry, the feminine being divine and all this other stuff, people rarely try to look at and understand that there's a shadow side to the feminine. And I expose a lot of this in a Patriarch's Vision. I talk about all of this. Everything we're talking about right now, man, is in this book. Right. Yeah, it is the ultimate. It is the ultimate pulling the veil back on intersexual dynamics, the sexual marketplace. I even go hard on religion. I go hard on the school system. I go hard on the government. And then I provide solutions of things that we need to do. Like, for instance, for those of us that are anti the feminist agenda and all these social justice warrior stuff, stop sending your fucking kids to college. Stop putting money in the coffers of these people. Vote with your dollars, right? If you can't win at the ballot box, cut them off through or via fucking the war of attrition of not putting money in their bank accounts. It's the reason why I don't go and watch Hollywood movies anymore, right? You want to push a social justice narrative also while being pedophiles? Like, I am not going to pay you any money. I'm not going to give you anything, right? You got to be willing to fucking take those stands. And that's the type of movement that we have to have in our society today. People need to start voting with their dollars.
And I think you might have mentioned it on maybe the Dude Party, but the reactions or someone mentioned about the reaction to one of the Star Wars movies, that it kind of awoke people to start looking at some of these things more critically because it was just so absurd. Yeah,
we've hit the tipping point. I haven't seen a Star Wars. I watched The Force Awakens and I remember sitting there. I was so excited for it. Yeah. This was in what, 2000, was it 2015, 2016? I remember sitting in the theater in just utter dismay. I was like, what did I just witness? I would say that was one of the things that really, really fucking red pilled me too, honestly, because I was just so let down. I was like, this is awful. This is awful.
I tried to watch a Rick and Morty episode recently. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Really?
It's insane.
Which one?
This last season 4, it has one where Rick falls in love with Morty's dragon or has a soul bond.
Yeah, that was super weird.
And then when they were slut shaming the dragon.
Yeah.
I clicked it off. I could not even watch it.
The funny thing is though, is this, they're actually going after the social justice this year in Rick and Morty.
Really? Yeah.
If you go back, like they are throwing a lot of key phrases in there, making fun of the social justice stuff, but it's low. It's not overt.
I didn't know if they were playing into it. Was hard for me to interpret whether or not they're playing into it or
no, it back in they're going hard. They're going hard against it.
Really?
Yeah. From what I noticed, at least.
Yeah. It was hard for me to figure out what was going on there. I'm like, are they trying to say that, here's how I interpreted the dragon thing. The dragon thing seemed to me like a female rationalization, or we know that females being hypergamous, I found my soulmate, because the whole thing was playing on this idea of a soulmate and kind of destroying it, which I guess is kind of red pill anyway.
Yeah.
I probably need to rewatch that.
Dragons mythologically are able to change genders.
Oh, yeah. I did not remember that.
Yeah. So if you understand the mythology of that aspect, it's kind of funny because it's like a transgender type of thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, that could also be us just like digging way too deep into the weeds. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, the Rick and Morty does have some very red pill kind of concepts because you have a beta father who's even been referred to as a beta.
Oh, you saw the episode where they where the husband and where Beth and the father went to counseling, and it was a full codependent thing where he's the worm, he's like this fucking shapeless thing that was so codependent, and she was just this like evil tyrant. Like that was perfect.
Yes.
Looking at it from a red pill lens, right?
Right.
Perfect. Yeah, it's amazing.
Whether or not, if they are illustrating the current state of the culture, then it is kind of a red pill point of view.
Yeah. So that's the way I like to interpret it, at least. Shit. Cool, man. Well, I'm going to get off of this beast because it's been an hour and some change, and I need to finish eating and all that good stuff. So, dude, thanks for calling in, man. This has been an amazing discussion.
Yeah, good talking with you.
Are you on the mailing list yet for the new book?
Yes, I think I sent my email in.
Cool. I appreciate that, man. Seriously. Okay. Because honestly, here's what it comes down to is, like I said, we have to kind of push this as far as a community is concerned. No one else is going to push it for us, right? So it's like if these are the conversations that we want out there, and we want to kind of stand our ground as far as like what our belief systems are and what we're no longer willing to tolerate, we got to get behind something. You know what I'm saying? So
the sauna at my local gym has become kind of a revolutionary training center, because these things come up and we start talking about them, and the younger guys are they're dying for it.
Perfect. Well, spread the word about this channel, spread the word about the book too, if you don't mind.
Good deal.
Cool, man. All right. I'm going to,
Thanks, Corey.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll talk to you later, man.
Bye.
Absolutely tremendous call. That was really productive. I love stuff like that. Awesome. So you guys can see the link in the chat. Obviously, if you guys are not aware, no, add to stream, you silliness. A Patriarch's Vision, Purging Feminism is my new book. I should be releasing it in about 30 days, barring anything or whatever comes up. I'm going to send out a free chapter of this book next week. Please do click the link in the chat, the bit.ly link, and get yourself on the email list so that I can send you a free chapter, as well as keep you updated. As you just heard me talking about, the biggest thing is this: we need to coordinate the release. I need to coordinate the release with you guys so that when it does get released, you guys are willing to buy it on that day. Why is that? Well, obviously we understand everything is run by algorithms right now. Everything, right? Everything's run by AI. Now, when this is published on Amazon and they see a tremendous surge of people buying this book, it obviously means that this is important. Now, I think this is a book that could go the distance. If we make a wave and we show a spark and get other people buying this stuff, I think this is going to be, I hate to even call it red pill, but this is the most red pill content that's being produced up to this point in time. This is something that is meant for the masses to read and wake up and agree with and make a choice as to what direction we need to start going. This is the weapon, guys, right? You guys just got to choose to get behind it. So please do click the link. Click the link so that I can notify you guys of when this is going to be released so that you guys can purchase. I'm also going to do a pre-order just to see where we're at as well. So if you guys want to get, this is the pre-order link as well. So I'll send out an email for pre-orders via your email when you click that link. So please do so. With that said, I'm going to go live with John Fitch tomorrow at 1:45 p.m. Then I'm going to hop back on. I'm going to do live with the King for about 30 minutes at 4:30. And then I go live with members of the WarTribe, because every single Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I do a personal webinar with all of my members of the WarTribe. You have to be a member of the WarTribe to get into these webinars. Click the link below. Well, sorry, you can't click it. You're going to have to type that one in. www.thewartribe.com to become a member of the War Tribe. It is a forum and a men's community, men's only community, where we talk about everything that I've talked about so far today. I help you out with game. I help you out with frame. I help you out with style. I help you out with getting in the gym. I help you out with getting your money right. It's an amazing community of dudes who now get to call me up pretty much on this webinar, where I get to have a direct conversation with you and help you figure out where your pain points are, where you're struggling, where you need to grow. One thing that I really like helping people out with, that I'd consider myself the niche individual, the only person that can really help people out with in this environment, is with getting rid of and removing toxic relationships, as well as healing shame and guilt within your own life around these types of situations, when it comes to dating, when it comes to gaming women, when it comes to even having success in your life, when it comes to financial stuff. Because a lot of us men over the last 100 years in this country have been guilt and shamed into oblivion. That's why masculinity has been on such a downturn. It's because of the insidious attacks on men, guilting and shaming us, trying to make us stop living a masculine life, stop living in a masculine frame. So please do join the War Tribe if you want to be part of those webinars and if you want to contribute to the community. With that said, I will see you guys tomorrow at 1:45. That's okay. I don't care about the Super Bowl. I care about helping men. So I'll see you guys at 1:45, and then I'll see you at 4:30, and then I'll see my guys at with the War Tribe at 5 p.m. Adios.